elaborate on that take that players should boycott the tournament?
So, fellas, eventually this is going to happen, where NCAA players look one another in the eye and realize the level of power they have in carrying the dollar as it relates to collegiate athletics. And they're going to eventually say, unless we're getting paid, we're not going to play basketball or football. Because those are the only sports, in theory, that this conversation becomes one for the masses. Let me get this right. I can be a high school athlete and I can't go straight to the league because the system is designed for me to go play in college so that you can profit off of me, but yet I'm not allowed to profit off of myself in any way, shape, or form. Not my likeness, not my autograph. What if I had another talent? What if I wanted to be an author? I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not even allowed to get a job if I'm a scholarship athlete. And also, when you sign a letter of intent, you're also basically signing a shoe contract. Imagine if you go to a school and they're wearing said brand shoe and you decided you didn't want to wear that shoe. Guess what? You can't play for that team. And international prospects, they're allowed to go straight to the pros. Look at the Greek Freak, Tony Parker. So many players from international annals are allowed to go straight to the league, but they don't allow the international journey does not afford you to profit off those players, but yet the American-born players, and it definitely has a racial overtone because we're not talking about this in hockey, in soccer, in baseball. No, we're conveniently having this conversation about the two sports in particular, basketball and football, that are predominantly black. So for the NCAA, I feel like they operate like an organized cartel. I think the way the athletes are being treated are basically indentured servitude because they're not profiting in any way, shape, or form. And gone are the days where just be happy that you have a scholarship. They're not giving me a scholarship because they like me. They're giving me a scholarship because I'm good at basketball. And if they were able to exercise that power and say that we're not going to perform, oh, man, everybody would now be up in arms. What is going to happen when March Madness takes place? Everybody's going to be filling out brackets. As a matter of fact, people are going to be filling out multiple brackets. You know why? Because they're trying to get paid off the NCAA tournament. Everybody profits but the players, and that's a shame in this climate.
No, they shouldn't boycott. And here's why they shouldn't boycott, Jalen, for two reasons and two reasons only. Number one, that might get in the way of their dreams, A, but B, and more important, because you can't get those years back, but B, here's the biggest reason why they shouldn't boycott. Because there's another avenue to explore exactly what you're alluding to, Jalen. I'm just coming about it a different way. Rather than the players boycotting, how about we all do what we can to force the NCAA to ultimately have a players association, a student-athlete association representing the interest of the players. If it happens in professional sports, why can't it happen in collegiate sports? Because you have to remember, if you have a players association, right, a student-athletes association per se, then you engage in collective bargaining. Then you have access, at least to some degree, to the kind of revenue that's being generated, thereby having the ability to decipher, dissect, and really determine the level of revenue you believe you should have a piece of. And I think that's incredibly important here. The players have no representation. The student athlete has no representation. They're at the mercy of the NCAA. They're powerless. That's what we're really speaking about. And so if you boycott, okay, well, ultimately the student athlete's going to get paid. Well, how are they going to get paid? How many of them are going to get paid? Which sports are going to get paid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think there should be a student athletes association for the football, for NCAA football, and there should be a student athlete association for basketball. And by that, you know what? You make sure that everybody's represented accordingly, and they can work to decipher exactly what kind of revenue these players should get a piece of.